Welcome to the Architecting in Stilettos podcast. If you know us, you know us. And if you don't, hello. I'm Arlene Ajurian, joined by Katie Flores.
Hello.
Here at AMK Studio, an architecture and planning firm in sunny SoCal. We typically get invited by developers, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and luxury home builders who are struggling with the big three: maximizing site value and profits, obtaining approvals, and creating the ideal solution that will best achieve their goals. When the final design is as buildable as it is green, creative, and joyful, that's the win-win we're looking for. This podcast is about how we get there. We share stories, focus on real-world, behind-the-scenes challenges, and candid discussions, all while playing well with others. Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of the Architecting in Stilettos podcast. In today's episode, we launch the season topic, why is it so damn hard to build in California? And kick things off with a discussion around costs, permits, timing, and other project killers that make building in California as daunting as it comes. This is in line with our mission to empower builders, developers, and adventurous clients to build their dreams and reach their goals. Please note that this episode was pre-recorded prior to the wildfires that we recently had in Pacific Palisades and Altadena. We will be launching several episodes that focus specifically on the topics of empowering those who have lost their homes. In the meantime, Katie and I hope you enjoy this episode. So if I wanted to do, for example, just a single home, brand new home, how long does that take?
I don't even know right now. I mean, it's months and months. Even if you're a single income family, you're gonna have one car, right? I mean, you might not have 2 cars or 3 cars, but I mean, you still wanna at least provide one parking stall for a family. We wanna make housing more attainable. We want more people to be able to get housed.
Hey everybody, welcome to our first podcast ever. Hi Katie.
Hello, Arlene. Inaugural podcast.
Yeah, and we get to celebrate with our new table, and we got a couple of things that we love about our office, and so here we go. We're talking about something kind of on the top of mind for a lot of people. The subject is why the F is it so hard to build in California? We have a lot of different kinds of clients. Some are small developers, some are more professional developers, some are public builders, and across the board. Housing especially.
Very difficult.
Very difficult. Yeah. I mean, we just got a nightclub approved in
San Diego.
In how many months?
Oh, in like 2 months, less than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we need another nightclub.
Yep.
And sorry, I mean, I love nightclubs, but we need another nightclub. But then housing is taking how long? So if I wanted to do, for example, just a single home, brand new home, how long does that take?
I don't even know right now. I mean, it's months and months. It should be very simple.
So, I mean, a minimum of 4 months for approvals. And I'm talking about any city that is maybe Newport Beach,
Costa Mesa,
Irvine,
Laguna Beach.
Yeah, all of them. So it's about 4 months for a single home, brand new, from the ground up to get approved.
Yeah.
Right. That's minimum time, because if you've got design review with HOAs or some complication because we're asking for
a variance or something. Exactly.
And it's up from there.
Another ball game. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay. So then going to why is it so hard to build here, we got some topics to talk about. And one of those is what? The cost of land. So that's the obvious big issue.
Exactly. I mean, we're California. We live in a beautiful state, and part of the downside of that is everything is expensive.
Right.
So you get what you pay for here.
Yeah, I know that I can get an acre of land in Georgia for maybe $5,000, or I could before COVID. And that is so not the case here. So it's obviously that's number one. And then we've got the cost of materials and labor, which again are higher for California
always
than other places.
Yeah, we have a higher minimum wage. We have, higher just all the taxes and the things that businesses have to pay when they're here for payroll taxes and all that kind of stuff. We have a lot of
regulations.
Fees and regulations that businesses have to cover. So it just adds on to the labor cost and material cost.
Yep.
a lot of stuff has to get shipped in because obviously because land is so expensive, we don't have warehouses that are as big as somewhere else, that kind of a thing. So materials and labor are both high here.
So the built-in protection for both of those, before I go to number 3, is that, like you said, we've got very good stability of land value here.
Exactly.
So, as unfortunately Palos Verdes right now is the exception, but in general, we're fine in terms of, it's a very good investment to buy in California. Amazing. And as far as materials and labor go, typically we have very experienced, good quality construction out
here.
Experienced contractors, if they're regulated. So that too, for them to screw it up so badly that the quality of construction is really bad. It's very rare here. It's rarer here than it is in the boonies, let's say.
And it's not like it's going down. It's not like, oh, next year labor is going to go down. And so you ended up paying too much this year. If you had only waited, you would pay less next year. That's not happening. It's only going up. So, yeah.
So there's a little bit of a silver lining on those clouds.
Absolutely.
But then going to number 3. Number 3 is a biggie, and that's the timelines.
Yeah.
The timelines here, so post-COVID era, and it's also the the Great Resignation era.
Absolutely.
Where people were resigning and immediately, just moving to new jobs because there was such a lack of labor in the urban planning departments and
building departments, engineering departments, public works. I mean, everybody, I think,
scrambled. Everybody moved
jurisdictions, or they left the city. I mean, I think some of it too is that, right? I mean, we've had a lot of people leave California for Texas or Tennessee or Georgia, right? So we have just across the board in California, people have left the state. And so I think some of it's that too, right?
Yeah, one person we'd be talking to one week, they're no longer there.
Yep.
So how many planners did we have, for example, in, I want to say, one of our beautiful beach cities down here? And it was just a remodel that we were doing.
We're still trying to get the ADU approved. We're on our 4th planner now. So we've gone through, it was a whole house, a brand new house, plus an ADU, and we've burned 3 planners already.
Yep. So that's a real issue.
Yeah, a lot of turnover.
But then we work with bigger developers. We work with affordable housing developers. So there's a few tactics that we know of. We obviously, we're pros. We've got, we know that we can work from the bottom up. We can work from the top down.
Yep.
We can have, from the affordable housing arena, we can incentivize a city so that it's a public-private partnership.
Exactly. We want the city to be on board. I mean, I think that's always our first phone call, is before we even really put pen to paper and start designing something, I want to know, what did the city have in mind for this piece of land? Because most of the time it's on their radar. If you're driving down Beach Boulevard and there's a vacant lot, the city knows about it. They're not blind. Yeah, they're not blind to what's in their city. So the staff there, they want to put something on these vacant pieces of land, and so
especially because there's a housing element that they've got to meet a housing quota that the state has mandated. So there's
homeless people. Again, obviously, we're in California. Homelessness is a huge issue here. So I think just getting these vacant pieces cleaned up and built and alive again, so it's not just a trash heap anymore, would be great.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's from the affordable housing arena. So we work with we have relationships with the cities. So we work with the housing community developer. Then we work with the planning person at the counter. And we try to make everyone understand and have the agencies meet eye to eye, because there's a lot of things to work out. Right. And, before I go to those issues, the same applies to when we work with production developers.
Absolutely. It's the same. I mean, whether it's market rate or affordable, I mean, if you're a seasoned developer and you want to even just do a small lot, a simple lot split, or, a few units on a small single family lot, it's the same approach, really.
Yeah,
I mean, you want to
it
go
is.
start bottom up, talk to the guy at the counter.
Or when we incentivize them with, we've got trails running through like our beautiful
exactly.
neighborhood. We've got a community that fits, that works really well with the surrounding neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got plenty of open and green space because we're thinking about, like the quality of life for the individuals who are living in a community as well as the neighborhoods surrounding them.
And we don't want to be gentrifying like a whole neighborhood. We want to do something that's appropriate but uplifting, right? So it's like, how do we bring it up without, we're not putting a skyscraper where, where it was duplexes, right?
Yeah.
We want to do something that's appropriate in the scale to the single family homes or the apartments that are nearby. Bring it up without, going over the top and being out of scale, out of proportion with what is in that neighborhood.
Yeah, for sure. And the parking, that's always a stickler.
Always. Yeah. I mean,
it's
again,
from
California.
day one. I know.
That's one thing that would be, obviously the Bay Area or, parts of Northern California have, with BART, you have a lot better public transit. I mean, down here in LA and Orange County, it's horrible, right? I mean, we just don't have as good a public transportation. And so even when we can get away with less parking, sometimes it doesn't work for a market rate product because projects.
Or the neighborhood might still not approve it. But.
Exactly. So, I mean, parking is always an issue. And so we want to be sensitive to that. We don't want to make the neighbors angry because we haven't provided enough parking to accommodate the apartments or the townhomes or whatever it is we're putting in.
And sometimes by right, the developer, many times
get away
by
with
right,
it.
they can get away with it, but they still want to have that good neighbor reputation that they're trying to protect because they've got multiple things happening in the same jurisdiction. So that's where this becomes a little bit more sensitive. Right.
Well, and it goes back to what you were saying of the quality of life, right? I mean, even if you're a single income family, you're going to have one car, right? I mean, you're not going to you might not have 2 cars or 3 cars, but I mean, you still want to at least provide one parking stall for a family. I mean, you really...
And we are sticklers about storage because, obviously everyone's got maybe like a bicycle or just a
Christmas decorations.
You've got Christmas decorations, Passover plates. I don't know. Whatever. It's like all of that's got to go somewhere.
Exactly.
So that is... that's great. But so now we have this thing that we've been going through and you and I have been racking our minds over. So the issues are from the beginning all the way to the end is what we've been finding, right?
Yep, exactly.
And one of the things is, okay, so let's be the solution. Let's see how we can help this out. So there's things like SB 6 and SB 9 and
SB 4. All of these, all these amazing...
Anything that, for example, SB 9 allows you to split a lot into 2, right? And there's a certain ratio to it. There's minimums and maximums, but it essentially allows you to do this to a single family lot.
Mm-hmm.
And SB 6 allows us to take what is currently church or college, upper higher education land and build housing on it, affordable housing.
Yep, exactly.
Great. And even more so, the church doesn't even have to stay on it anymore.
Right. As long as it was a church, I think it's since the 70s. There's a date, so I don't remember what the exact date is. As long as it's been church property for a certain amount of time, the church can, do the amazing church thing that they do and, out of the goodness of their heart, provide that into affordable housing, and it's great.
It's a win-win. I mean, especially if the church is already kind of maybe moving or has a smaller congregation and they're willing to do something that is different and gives back to the community in a different way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, they can still meet, they can still have, their functions and, maybe they meet outside more. Maybe they do, obviously, if they're flexible and modern, they can do new and cool things as a congregation. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then there's another one too, where you can add more ADUs now to multifamily.
Yes.
And that's an AB 1280 something.
Yeah.
So with all of these are amazing.
Right.
What's our hurdle?
Our hurdle now is that none of the cities have processed any of these things. So, I mean, even SB 9, the lot split, I mean, that's been around for a few years now. But, I mean, there's jurisdictions who maybe they've processed 1 or 2 of those right now. Like, they just are, the staff at the counter, the staff even higher up in management and as directors of the departments, they just haven't processed these. And so it's they're having to create new processes, new applications, new forms, a whole new checklist for them to be able to get us through the finish line to the approval. They know that the state has mandated this and it's coming down from on high, that they don't have a choice, but they still need to make sure that, some basic setbacks are being met, that the scale of the project is appropriate for the neighborhood, all the things we were just talking about. You don't want to have an eyesore in your neighborhood, so they have to do their job. And some of it's like, how wide is my driveway? Is this a residential, like a single family, size driveway that's only 16 feet wide? Or does it have to be a multifamily driveway that's 25 feet wide, somewhere in that range? So
with all of the caveats of zero view quarter, all of the little things that we have to look forward to. But so when it comes to the difficulties of having to walk into a jurisdiction and be creative on behalf of our clients, but at the same time, now we're up against perhaps inexperience on the side of the jurisdiction because they've never done this before.
Yep, exactly.
What do we do?
Well, the first thing we do is ask for multi-agency meetings. So,
Absolutely.
I think we start with the planners because that's usually where that, they're kind of the hub, right? Mm-hmm. They'll be the one who wrangle all the other departments into one meeting. But,
then perhaps bring in a pro.
Exactly.
We're pros, but then there's a pro who is more of entitlement from the public policy side.
Exactly.
We're happy to,
bring consultants on board.
On board so that they are actually educating per what the
legal
law
exactly
says.
We need a legal team who's on board and can help fight that battle for the developer, for the affordable housing
right. And
builder.
we're not walking in as adversaries. We're walking in as people that are just like, let's make this a win-win and educate and, go from there. And then the third one is probably setting the expectation on timeline.
Yeah. Because the reality is as much as we get in a meeting, get everyone on board as much as we can, guaranteed not everyone is going to be available at that time. Someone's out sick. The firefighter had to send in their substitute. And so then we don't have the right person from fire department or whatever it is. We're not going to get all the decisions made at the table at that one meeting as much as I wish we could. It's just not going to happen overnight. So no matter what, it just takes time to get people in these departments comfortable.
Sure.
And get everybody on board. And I think that's probably it. Really making a decision when, like you said, fire department, say they're missing from the meeting because it just didn't work out that way. Guaranteed that's going to be it's Murphy's Law, right? They're not there. And so whatever it is that we do.
The last project that we did for a major developer in Anaheim, we had the fire department and the trash literally
in conflict the entire time,
along with public works, along with the traffic engineer, along with everybody else in the same room at the same time. This is a great meeting. This is the way we should be doing things.
Yep.
But we still couldn't get a consensus.
It took months just to get everyone in the same room for the same meeting. But yes, even then it was still, okay, well now this trash enclosure, the resolution was that the trash enclosure could go right on the property line. But that means the trash enclosure now has to be fire rated because it's a 0 lot line condition. Right. So the building department, of course, wasn't in that meeting because we didn't think the building department needed to be there. It was just planning, public works, fire, and trash. So those departments. So we got to circle back around with building department, get them all on board.
It's obviously a work in progress, but we're making it happen.
Yeah.
It's fine. So I want to say that, it's not perfect.
No.
It's definitely a different world.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
It's keeping us on our toes. We have processes now in place.
Absolutely.
More than ever, and new processes being created from just things that we didn't even see coming, like, perhaps plan check corrections that are kind of redundant because the agencies are, again, they're not agreeing. They're not talking about what it is that they need to see. Something dumb like, do I need to have a complete package or do I need to have a package that
for
has
each
duplicate
department?
Sets for each department? Things like that shouldn't be
it shouldn't be this complicated
or time consuming for our developers who are really like paying for their time, their land, their carrying costs, all of that.
Well, and you would think I should be able to just send a courier down to the city hall to pick up the plans and bring them back. It shouldn't be a big deal. But now even that person who's talking to whoever it is at the counter, they need to be educated. It can't just be your, run of the mill, college student who is your intern just being a runner, right? I mean, back in the olden days, you could do that, right? I'm going to just send the kid down, grab the plans, bring them back. That person needs to have one step up of savviness where they can look at the set of plans that they're picking up and raise their hand and be like, maybe we need to speak to someone in a different department because this doesn't quite make sense. And so it's just
I think it takes regular little
conversations,
check-ins, meetings, take a picture of a plan check item or a comment and send it out to the team while you're still at the counter. A little bit more of just proactiveness on all our parts, because we're having to either educate or we're having to pick up pieces where there's miscommunication.
Right.
And it's just, that's the world we live in.
Yeah. And it's hard because I appreciate, there's a level, I appreciate that the cities are getting more specialized, right? So they have a plan checker who is, they're good at electrical. And so all they do is check the electrical portion of the set, right? That way they know that the electrical is done correctly. The problem is that person, now I need a whole set just for them to check electrical. And then the mechanical guy, he's just looking at mechanical, but there's pieces that might be related to other disciplines. And so it's just, there's layers of information.
Are you ranting right now?
In the plans? No, because I do appreciate that they're specialized. And so they do know what they're doing.
Yes.
But it's very focused, right? So their specialty is very focused. And so we as architects, though, our job is to be very broad. So we are technical, but we are looking at everything from, like you said, the initial, vision and
the feeling how many units are we getting?
Exactly.
And is our developer going to make money?
What lovely, heartwarming things are we going to do on this project for the residents who live there, all the way through the technical pieces of structural, mechanical, plumbing, electrical, civil, landscape, blah, 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 and on and on and on, until we get to the finished product. And then now we're looking at finishes. We're looking at how does the counter connect to the bathtub? How does all of these things. So our experience is very broad. And so when dealing with someone who's very specialized, it's obviously just a different animal. And so being able to.
And this is new. This is different.
Oh, very
Just for
new.
context.
Yeah.
This is not how it has been for years and years and years.
Absolutely.
I want to say, we've been doing this for decades. I'm sorry.
Yes, but we're older than we look.
I'm old.
Hopefully.
Okay. But in the meantime, it's a different world in terms of how things are plan checked.
Exactly.
So that one we have to work on in terms of how to solve that problem. We may not be able to do that as far as...
Yeah, because I can't be, I personally can't be at the counter with every plan checker as they plan check everything. So it's a matter of, again, like you said, setting up processes, making sure that we're checking, going down our checklist as we do it. And that our team is doing the same thing, and that your developer team or your, if you're the homeowner, that we are sharing those checklists with you so that you're able to do that from your perspective as well. If you have that runner going down to City Hall and picking up the stuff, that you're able to have that person be informed, and we're all on the same team trying to help move this project along. And like you said, I don't want to be the ranting one.
No, it's not. Obviously, there's years and years of experience that is coming out at this moment, which is fine, you know, and this is podcast number 1. So, we do laugh a lot. We do what we can to keep things as fun as possible.
Right.
But it's just, and it's probably healthy because we do need to laugh when these silly things happen. And it is, the way that the agencies have evolved and the way plan checks have evolved, it is, it makes it more difficult for architects. It makes it more difficult for developers. It doesn't make anything easier.
No. And mean, and especially for small developers, right? I mean, if you are someone who is trying to get in on this and you maybe want to do your own project, you have a piece of land that you inherited or that was, that you've purchased that you want to do something with. If you've never built before, there's a learning curve for everyone, right? So like we're saying, even the staff at the city and the county, most of the time, it's a smattering of some old people who know what they're doing and have been there for a very long time, and they're the ones who've implemented, some of these regulations, and
they know it by heart.
They know it by heart. And then we've got young people who are just starting out,
right?
Exactly, and new laws that are coming down from the state, and so there's some things that the jurisdictions, they weren't involved in those things getting approved at all, and so now this is just getting slapped on them, and they have to comply. And so I feel for them, right? That they're like, well, where the heck did this come from? And so now they have to get up to speed as quick as they can.
You're setting up for our next podcast. And so that's awesome, which is basically, stay tuned for that one. We're going to talk about things from a planner's perspective.
Absolutely.
Part of the team. It's all like trying to move things forward. And, the better that the process gets, as much as we can, in different jurisdictions, the better it's going to be for our clients, our homeowners, our housing situation, for us, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
for the world at large, right? I mean, that's the goal, is that we want to, we want to make housing more attainable. We want more people to be able to get housed. That's why we love, one of our clients is Habitat for Humanity. We love what they stand for. But like we were saying, I mean, market rate housing, luxury homes, custom homes, same thing. Everyone deserves the home that they want.
Correct.
And so how do we get that for you? And how do we get that for everyone?
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Arlene. Have a good one.
Thank you.
This marks the end of the first installment of our Architecting in Stilettos podcast. Thanks for listening.